Have you ever thought to yourself, who initially brought these fast food trends that you see all around you today? If your mind has ever stumbled upon the above question, then be ready to get your curiosity answered. Today, we are going to talk about White Castle, the first ever fast food restaurant in the United States. Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new video on the channel. Today we are going to set on the journey of the success story of the very first fast food restaurant in the United States. There is a chance that you haven't tried the food at White Castle, but trust me, by the time I end this video, you will surely be dying to visit this place and enjoy its tasty sliders. So, without wasting your time, let's get into it. Starting back in 1921, White Castle today has grown to over 400 locations in the United States. You must be wondering how a restaurant that literally operates at just over 400 locations can be so important. Because if we look at other major fast food chains, I am quite sure that White Castle will only reach a fraction of the number in terms of branches and location. Wait, let's clear a few things here. White Castle's story isn't going to be like the conventional stories of success, because White Castle wasn't imitating someone's idea. Well, primarily because the idea of a fast food restaurant never existed before. The story I am presenting to you today is not just a success story about a restaurant or its founder, rather it's about initiating something that no one had ever thought of. It's a story of White Castle, a fast food restaurant with a legacy of over 100 years and a pioneer of the fast food industry. It all started with Billy Ingram, who was a real estate professional before he got into the business of selling hamburgers. Though the story has a little twist, as Billy Ingram had good acumen for business and White Castle is still owned by the Ingram family. But it was actually Walter Anderson who invented modern-day hamburgers. So Walter's story is that he ran a small cart of hamburgers and Billy Ingram partnered with him to open White Castle. So now that we are done with giving the due credits, let's get back to the story. At the time Billy Ingram opened White Castle, people were very skeptical of fast food, majorly because it was a new concept and people thought of it as detrimental to their health. So it wasn't like a piece of cake for Billy Ingram and the team to start the business and make people believe that the food they are selling is not contagious or harmful. First, White Castle was the very first fast food restaurant in the whole US. Many people might say, why am I emphasizing this part so much? This must have played in their favor because they didn't have to face any competition. It wasn't like that. In the early 1900s, people weren't as accepting of new things as they are today. So bringing forth a concept that people have never heard of was a very bold move, though it is one of the reasons for White Castle's success today. Second, as I discussed a little before about the doubt of people on health issues that could be caused by fast food, it was a major task that White Castle had to put their energies in. So to expand a little more on this, at the time it started, food items that used meat in their processing, especially the frozen ones, had very damaging health effects. To address this concern of the customers, they used fresh meat that wasn't frozen at any phase during the food processing. Even then, many people didn't accept it. Eventually, they had to resort to campaigns, like calling in women to come and test their food, plus take a good look at their processes. Another thing they tried, which was very unusual, but it played so brilliantly in their favor. So what they did was, they asked a university student to eat just their hamburgers for 3 to 4 months and get himself checked afterward. And guess what? The student did eat their hamburgers straight for 3 months, and when he got tested, his health was perfect. This is where all the trends of fresh ingredients, cleanliness, and food processing quality came from. This phenomenon isn't a recent one. Believe me, people in the early 90s were more concerned about their health than we are today. Still, no matter how difficult it was and how much effort they had to put in, White Castle earned it for themselves. After implementing all these strategies and going through all this struggle to clear the people's doubts, White Castle was airborne. Their hamburgers got so popular that their sales went up like crazy. By now you must be wondering, what, just these two factors made their business successful? Of course not. Even though they were not facing any sort of challenge, still they had a strong focus on innovating their product. The innovations they brought were very minute, and I don't think anyone would be interested to know that they started creating holes in the meatloaf before they put it on the grill to be fried. All these small and big innovations helped them a lot with their business, because these small things kept adding up, and the value they provided to their customers increased many folds. For example, putting holes in the meatloaf would help save up the grilling time it took, and thus customers would get their orders quickly. Furthermore, they kept trying new bun styles, bringing deals where customers could get a basket of 10, 20, 30, 50, and even 100 hamburgers at a time. 100 hamburgers! I don't know where that came from, so let's just leave it there. But one thing I like the most about this specific restaurant while going through their story is that they are different. Like, even now, they are not following how the market operates. They have their way of doing this, and I think that's one of the reasons we are talking about them today. For example, take their restaurant sizes. Instead of going for full-size, huge buildings with large dine-in spaces, they go for small, cozy places. And to my surprise, White Castle restaurants are one of the popular dine-in spots for Valentine's as well. Don't ask me why, because I'm really not sure why someone would opt for a hamburger spot for their Valentine's date. They are on the list of spots, so there must be something in them that I just haven't yet found out. That could also be why I'm still single. Anyways, another thing that's different about White Castle is their policy of not sharing the ownership with anyone. Remember how I discussed in the start that they have just over 400 branches? Like, even all the people from the US might not have ever eaten at White Castle because they don't have one in their city or even in their home states. They now have something for customers who can't come to eat their burgers at their locations, which I will discuss in a bit. But back to the not sharing ownership part. White Castle has a motto of not franchising its restaurant. Even though over the years, so many people have shown interest in buying the franchise, however, for the Ingram family, White Castle holds importance as a household name. From the time of Billy Ingram to today, when the fourth generation of the Ingram family runs the restaurant, everything has been under the control of one family. Their reason for not franchising is very simple. They believe when you go out and share a business with people, it's essentially sharing the ideology of business, and that's not something they can share. Trust me, if it weren't for their policy, they must have reached over 2,000 branches by now, because people love their food, not to mention the following they have. Many people who have White Castle in their neighboring states and cities take a road trip to try out their hamburgers. Here, I will discuss the initiative that White Castle took to facilitate their customers who couldn't reach their restaurants. Everything they crave are hamburgers, so what they did was, they started to sell their hamburgers in frozen packing. Brilliant, no? They piloted this idea at their branches first. Now, you can find their frozen burgers at your nearest supermarket. Don't expect them to be anywhere as tasty as those fresh ones prepared right in front of you, but they are something. Still, if you are not satisfied, take a trip with friends or family and have those hamburgers. You know they are worth it. Okay, so that's it for the idea. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon as well. Until then, take care of yourself. Might go get some burgers as well in the meantime, and I'll see you in the next one.